In this video, I'm going to show you one of the most important tests you need to carry out when doing electrical fault finding. Let's get into it. Right, so we have got a 2006 McGann convertible, roof not working. Evidence we've got is, customer says that he opened the boot, the latch was mucking about, he sprayed some WD-40 in there, when he put it back together, the roof wasn't working. Is that cause or effect? Was his boot mucking about because his roof had stopped working, he didn't realise it, closed it down, the roof didn't work? We're not sure. So I've actually started working on this one. I'm going to show you where we've got to and what we've done. So the roof system on these, if you leave the boot cover unlatched, it gives a beep, beep, beep on the thing. If there's anything wrong, it just beeps at you when you press a button. We've got no beeping, no nothing. It doesn't try and put the windows down, it doesn't do anything. So we think that the module is shut down. We've tried scanning it. Again, I don't want to run through it all to show you that we can't scan it, but we can't get any communication with the scan tool. So we've gone straight to the control module in the boot. We started looking through that, and this is what we found. I got moaned out in my last video for saying so many times. So what we've got is control module. This is the main control module sat under the pump on that. We've got a few in and out. It's got a lot of switches, motors, etc., all that sort of stuff. These are the main switches in the car. We've got some fuses down to the switches. We've got a main live in on pin 3. We've got a battery voltage. So we have got. I got moaned out for saying so many times. Oh. I got moaned out in my last video for saying so many times. So what we've got is control module. This is the main control module sat under the pump on that. We've got a few in and out. It's got a lot of switches, motors, etc., all that sort of stuff. These are the main switches in the car. We've got some fuses down to the switches. We've got a main live in on pin 3. We've got a battery voltage, so terminal 30 is battery, through fuse 4, 70 amp, comes through, tees off and drops down to fuse 11. This is a fuse box inside the car, so fuse 11 gives main power, not switched, directly down to there on pin 5 and pin 12 on the big red wires. Then we get the ignition switch to turn on. This is the ignition main circuit relay. Again, it's powered directly from the same fuse. When the relay turns on, it turns fuse 5 on, 15 amp. That's going to be a switch live down to the yellow on pin 6. So these are going to be the main things we're going to look at. So we've got pin 3, 6, 5 and 12. Let's get that written down. We'll have a look. So our evidence is boot lock. Big question mark. We're not sure what's gone on there. So we're going to be looking at module pin 5 and 12. 5 plus 12, battery positive. Pin 6, ignition 15, so that's terminal 30, and then pin 3, number 31. So battery voltage, terminal 30, terminal 15 is ignition voltage, and terminal 31 is what they call earth. So ground, earth, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to go and check them on the module, see what we got, and then we'll show you. Okay, as you can see on the meter there, we're on to pin 5, 11.55, pin 12, 11.52, 11.52 was it? So that's that. Let's go and check the ignition feed out. So this is just switched live on the yellow, showing 0. Let's turn the ignition on. And there we go. We've got 1181 on that as well. So must be the battery's a little bit low on it. But right, Let's have a look at that then. So again, 11.5. So we just need to check the earth. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave it on the battery voltage and then move the earth from the earth point on the chassis over to the earth point on here. If we get 11.52, we know the earth is good as well. So let's go and do that. So if we put a probe on there, go directly into the earth and then onto the power. 11.45 again, so the earth is showing okay, and the earth is 0 volts, so we are good. So next we're going to check, all we know is that we've got the voltage to the back of the pins, so we're going to pull that plug out, have a look in there, make sure none of the pins have been opened up, nobody's played with it or pushed any terminals in it or anything, so we can make sure they're okay. Do a little drag test on them, make sure they're tight. So let's have a look at that and pull the plug out. All the pins look good, but this is another little thing which people do miss. This is not the main part, what we're going to show you, which is the most important one, but people think because they've gone to the back here it's okay. If you've got a bad connection on the pins going into the module looks nice and clean. We can actually see these are tight, but that's not coming out. It's got a nice tight connection on them all, good resistance on them, so yeah, that's gonna be fine. So what next thing is just to double check our communication wire, because does it need to talk to anything before this will power up? I don't know. So let's have a quick look on the diagram, check the communication wire, whatever that is. Let's make sure it hasn't got a short on it. So let's find out what pin that goes onto. So back to the diagram. So we have got, obviously, we've checked our earth. We've got earth there. We've got a 12 volts here. And we got, well, 11.5 volt here, 11.5 down the switch. And what we got now, all the other ones are sensors and switches, magnets and rollover bar, rollover bar activation, the motors, all that sort of gear. The communication line goes to pin 13 and 14 and they're CAN bus. So we're not going to go too deep into that before I show you the test, what we definitely need to do before we go any further. But we're going to go and have a quick check of that. We definitely need to check whether we've got 2.5 volts on it and we've got some sort of signal down it. It just means it's not shorted and we get some sort of communication, and then we can have a look at our testing. So again, we're not going to go too deep. We're not going to get the Pico out. We've just got a little handheld oscilloscope out. It is showing a signal and it is around 2.5 volts. So that shows that's okay. Right, let's show you the test, what we missed. So, did you see the mistake we made? So, we checked battery voltage. Car shut down, ignition off, check the battery voltage, that should have voltage to it. It did. We checked the earth, that was fine. And then we turned the ignition on and we had an ignition feed as well. What we should have done is checked the battery voltage once the ignition was on, because that turns the module on and then puts it under load. Let's show you what the difference is. 11.84 volts on the switch live, so that's showing the ignition's on. And look what happens to the main voltage, 2.51. So the main voltage is dropped down to 2 volts with the ignition on. If you turn the ignition off, that goes back to 11 volts. So under load, the voltage is dropping. So we would have noticed it if we'd have tested in that order. But if you did test in that order, and then you stripped it all out, you was just about to test the module, this is the part what you should have done 100% before you go fitting any modules. Load Pro. This is what you're missing. You don't need one of these, you just need a bulb or something, but these are handy to have as your multimeter leads. So we're just going to change our multimeter leads, again, just one on earth, one on live. When it's at full voltage, we press a button, it puts a load to it, and it will drop it down. Let's show you. And here we go. Got our trusty mechanic mindset meter, 11.62, which onto our earth, we've gone into our main live, and when we press a button to put a load onto that, literally drops to 0.3 of a volt, back to 11, and then gone again. So Just try the other wire, and again the same. We're going to move across to, so that's the main live. Move across to the switch live, 11.83, press a button, drops down to 11.68, down 0.1 of a volt. Anything over about half a volt is not good. So, right, I'll show you what we're going to do now. What we know is we are dropping the voltage from pin 5 and 12. It goes right the way back up through the car to under the dash to the fuse box. The volt drop could be between them two, between the fuse, between that fuse and this fuse. But if this fuse was dropping, if it does wire the same way as what this is saying, we'd have a volt drop on the ignition relay and that would drop away. So yeah, if we had a drop on that one, we'd notice it on other circuits. So we're going to go back to here, have a check. So we've gone to fuse 11, which is the one it lists for it. We've actually pulled it out to confirm that the voltage drops at the back, the 11.9 or the sort of couple of volt when we load it up. We've confirmed that that does power that by removing it, double checking it on the right fuse. The last thing you want to be doing is moving backwards and forwards and being on the wrong line. So here we are, 11.91, push it down, drops to 11.8. So yeah, about 0.1 of an amp. So no, let it go, it's gone back up. So no volt drop to that fuse, which we was pretty sure was going to be about right. So now we've got between here and there to strip out. We need to check, see where that loom must come through the back and into the car, maybe under the seat, under the sort of kick panels. I don't know, but we're going to have some sort of voltage drop. So now, got to work out which way to go. Do we go from here and try and find the fault, or do we go from the volt drop to it until the point it doesn't drop? Don't know. So I think we're going to start in the middle, strip this sort of area out, see if we can see where the wiring goes. I know in the old Scenics they used to go under the seat and had a big multi-plug, so we might be looking at something like that. So, all right, let's get it stripped. I'll show you what I find. So that was the Load Pro. Dan Sullivan, he's the man who invented that, made it, sold it off to, I think, the Snap-on make their own one, etc. But it all looks the same. And Dan Sullivan, he's in the States. He actually phoned us the other day to say that he'd seen Barney using it and he was over the moon. His tool, which he designed possibly 20 years ago, is still being used in the motor trade. So yeah, over the moon with that. Barney was over the moon because he got a phone call. So, right, let's go and check that. Right, I'll show you what we found. So checked down the back seat, everything was good there. Pulled this carpet up, took all the seat out, and here we go. Tiny bit of green corrosion down there, look. And it's corroded the pin away in there. So again, what we done to confirm it was the right wire, we pulled the fuse out when we was testing the input from the car end in, pulled the fuse out, the voltage had gone. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a quick bypass on it, show you that we can load test it at the back now, it's all going to be okay. Make sure we get some beepity beep from the switches, and hopefully that's it. Right, I'll show you this bypass. So literally a couple of multimeter probes and a banana lead, just connecting them two together. Then we're back down to the back. We've got our Load Pro connected up, 12.12, press the button, drops down 12.4. So let's just make sure that we're going to get some sort of beeping or something from the switch. Confirm that module's turning on. Oh yeah. So it wasn't doing that before, so that means we have got something going on now. Now I've just got to get it set up so I can test the roof, make sure it's all working, do the repair on this, get it all back together. And there we go, she's all done. Oh, nice beeping. So, another one done, job's carrot. So, yeah, the main thing was load testing. Could have missed that quite easily. The amount of people that could have gone live, switched live to the module, ordered another module, and he hadn't load tested it. So don't forget, load it up with a bulb, 5-watt bulb, maybe a 10-watt bulb as well. They'll carry, most wires in cars will carry about a 10-watt bulb. So yeah, just put one of them on it, see if it drops away while you've got your multimeter connected. Might stop you ordering any incorrect parts. So there we go. Thanks so much for watching. See you on the next one.